Brilliant. Thank you. So there was our 3, 2, 1, go. We should be live. Thank you to Sarah from our student staff team for getting us onto the interwebs and ready to go. Thank you to everybody who's going to tune in and join us for this candidate Q&A. If you didn't see yesterday's, my name's Jamie. I'm a staff member at the Students' Union. And when it's leadership race season, I act as the deputy returning officer, which basically means I'm the person who makes all the immediate decisions about elections. So we're here tonight, as you can see, to talk to some of our candidates who are running to become full-time officers for the next academic year. And we're very excited. They'll all introduce themselves shortly. But also in our digital room, we're joined by Sabrina, who's another member of the Student Voice team. And they're going to be helping out and making sure that everything runs smoothly. Hello, Sabrina. And we've also got the wonderful and talented Mr. Chris Steers, who happily in a bit I'm going to shut up and hand over to Chris, and he'll take the reins and I'm sure do a much better job than me. Just to clarify what this event is and how it's going to work, it's designed for a quick introduction and a brief insight into the ideas of some of our candidates running this year. So they'll introduce themselves briefly. Then we'll move on and they'll answer some questions that have been submitted by students. And then each of them will get a couple of minutes to discuss a specific topic which we know matters to students from previous experience and research and evidence that we have. And then finally, we'll have a quick bit of a sum up from everybody before we close the event. As we move through, we might occasionally mute one of you. Sorry, candidates, it's not because we're just being mean. We'll just try and keep to time as we go, just so the event doesn't last for ages. So don't take it personally, don't worry. And please bear in mind for everybody who's either watching or participating, because there's a pandemic on and we're all joining from home, we might be joined by children or pets or God knows what else, burst pipes, whatever. So please bear with everybody if that does happen. And if you might be able to hear one of my little ones not very happy at the minute. If we are interrupted, we'll just kind of pause and stop, give that person a chance to get sorted, and then we'll carry on. So I think that's everything from me. So Chris, I'm going to look at you and hand over. And good luck and enjoy, everybody.
Hello, everyone. My name's Chris. I'm the station manager of the student radio station here on Staff's Uni. So basically, I'm just going to get you all to introduce yourselves. You've got 20 seconds each. I need your name, what made you want to run, your top priority, so that's your big thing, and your slogan. So who would like to go first? Amanda, did you want to go first?
I'll try, yeah. Sorry, I was a bit of technical problems. So my name's Amanda Payne. I'm a final year student for social welfare, law, policy and advice practice in the HSC school. The reason I wanted to run was I've been a department rep for 2 years, a trustee for 2 years, and I've been able to do a lot of things in that role, and I firmly think that I'd be really good in as a full-time officer because I know all the different people to go to and how to get the job done. My main priority for myself is to have more inclusivity for the mature parents and carers groups, and especially for our students who are key workers at Blackheath Lane, to name one campus, and to make them feel more included at staffs. And my hashtag is a catalyst for change.
Kyle, did you want to go next on this one?
Yeah, go for it. I am Kyle Ashby, and I am a network security student. And one of the reasons I'm running is mainly because I want to be there for students. I've seen a lot of changes that the university needs, so I want to be there at the front, being able to convey these issues to the university, make sure that students get what they deserve. And I think one of my top priorities is communication, making sure that lecturers, as well as the university itself, is conveying the correct information at the correct times so students feel safe, understand what's going on, and are able to have their own say. And my hashtag is Kyle will go the mile.
Hugh, did you want to go next on this one?
Yeah, sure. I'm Hugh Weaver. I'm a master's student, graduated undergrad last year, part-time lecturer, part of the Frisbee team, used to run Theme Park Society, plenty of different things that you might know me from. I'm mostly running because a bunch of my friends said that I'd be good at the job, so I figured I'd give it a shot, but I've really enjoyed my time at uni, and I want to make sure that other students do too, so that's mostly it. Big thing, really, student experience. That ranges from sort of academic things, like making sure that assignment feedback is nice and timely and actually useful, and then also things like graduation, like making sure the last 2 years of students get the graduation that they deserve, and not somewhere on campus like rumours are kind of saying. And my slogan is "Hugh, do you deserve?"
Thank you. Cameron, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm Cameron. I am a second year forensic science student. I really wanted to run because I think I've got a lot of good ideas that I really want to push to the union on the realms of equality and inclusivity for everyone, regardless of whoever you are. And my manifesto really does focus on equality. It's really important to me. I was involved in the LGBT network on the committee for a year at the university. So I've really seen a wide view of what people want. And my hashtag is lights, camera, and action.
Thank you. Love that hashtag. I do apologise for getting your name right. Is it Yolanda?
Yep, that's it.
Perfect.
Hi guys, I'm Yolanda Mcbride. I've been here for 4 years. I'm doing forensic science. I've worked in the unions, played for the football team, the rugby team. The reason I'm running this year is because I think I've got some good ideas and incentives to continue and grow and improve the services that are already available here. I think my experience is that everything that I've done here will help me do that. And then my top priority, my big thing would be student safety. I'm looking at implementing a safe space to report sexual harassment and sexual assault crimes. So you got clear and safe space to do so. Because at the end of the day, a safe campus is a campus you can enjoy more freely. And that is one of the main things I'm looking to implement. And then my hashtag is McBride on your side.
Thank you. Now we're going to look at all sorts of different questions. You've got about 2 minutes each to answer on each one. So we haven't got long. So as Jamie has said, if we have to mute you, it's not personal. It's just we have to keep to a tight time frame. So I'm going to get things started. So we often see candidates campaigning for events and club nights. But what other things do you think could be done to better support and engage our students outside of their course? So who would like to go first on that one? Yeah, you can go first.
I'm looking to promote societies and sports teams because I think that is the biggest pathway people have into the uni life. For me personally, anyway, that's what I've found. It's where I found 90% of my friends, that anything that I've ended up has come through meeting people through the societies and the teams. I'm looking at developing a feedback system that each team can implement. So each committee, if you've got a brand new committee going on, they know what they've got to improve from previous members, and they've got clear objectives to what they want to obtain going into the next year. And then another thing I want to do is for across the campuses, if we've got societies and sports teams from different campuses having a inter-uni tournament or arrangements, get them involved in Proud to be Staffs and sports ball, having it as a united thing rather than just a sole thing for Stoke campus. Get Blackheath, get London all involved.
Brilliant, thank you. Kyle, did you want to go next on this one? So just a reminder of the question: we often see candidates campaigning for events and club nights. What other things do you think could be better to support, engage our students outside of their course?
Well, it sort of links with the satellite campuses as well, because I think a lot of students on the satellite campuses obviously don't have the access and understand that there's a lot of societies university can offer. So I want to push that if we do have physical society fairs again, to be able to have there's an ice cream van. To have students societies be able to go to these campuses and promote their societies, as well as to try and sort of push each society to push their society out there a bit more with the union, so students are aware of what's going on. And obviously, because of this year, because we had it virtually, I don't think there was much engagement. I know from my society we didn't have the most engagement. So I feel like we need a better system in September so we can still continue virtually if students are not safe for going on campus, and are able to have a better system to access these societies and understand them.
Brilliant. Thank you. Cameron, do you want to go next on this one?
Yeah, sure. I really like the points that were made by Kyle and Yolanda about just like engaging students. I think advertising societies and networks specifically is like really important, because when I first came here, I wasn't really aware of a lot of the societies and networks that went on. So I think that is really important. And I just think as well, pushing for, as well as what was already said about post-COVID, like what is safe? Because I feel like this year I haven't seen a lot of interaction, but that makes sense because they're very in-person focused. But I think helping committees as well more so adapt themselves to changing situations that might happen, like if we open up again and then we have to close again, kind of adapting them to that.
Thank you. Amanda, can you answer this one? Just a reminder of the question. The question is: we often see candidates campaigning for events and club nights. But what other things do you think you could be done to better support and engage our students outside of their course?
So the one thing that I've noticed within especially my own school with HSC is that because we're on placement, we don't very often see our students actually engaging with other schools necessarily. So one thing that I've looked at as a department rep as well is to encourage more engagement with a wider variety of students. So we're actually engaging Stoke Campus and Blackheath Lane for HSC, but it's looking at making that across the board. So you've got DTA students engaging with HSC, with LPF, and everyone, so that there's more of an engagement there. Because as well as that, even with parent students, I know myself, I struggle with the societies and engagements because of time constraints with children. And obviously COVID has added to that. So maybe more of a open platform for online, for students, for support network with wellbeing as well, so that there is.
Sorry, Amanda ran out of time there.
That's all right. Hugh, do you want to just answer this one?
Yeah, quickly. Yeah, mostly I think it's just helping to support student groups and clubs and things, give them sort of maybe extra funding, extra promotion. If you remember, like the desktop backgrounds on university PCs, they always used to sort of advertise university events. Why can't those be used to help advertise events for student groups and things like that? Yeah, no, but this is something I definitely want to sort of work on more. I've had a job in student engagement the past year, which I've really enjoyed. So I definitely want to work with student groups more, and sort of help build their engagement. Definitely.
So off the back of that question, Hugh, what each have you done or contributed to the university/union before running? So Hugh, you led straight in really well into that question. So do you want to back up?
Yeah, I've worked in the student engagement team for the past year, sort of helping out sort of with admin kind of things for student groups, sort of helping get their tickets on the website, stuff like that. I used to run Theme Park Society for 2 years. I volunteered at plenty of different sort of welcome events, things like that. But yeah, many things really.
Okay. Yolanda, did you want to add anything to that?
Is this just about what we've done? Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. What have you done?
Yeah. I've been part of women's football, women's rugby. I helped out with the LGBT conference that was ran not last year, year before. Obviously worked at the union. Been helped out with quite a few sports teams whenever they've needed numbers. It's probably the biggest thing. Yeah, I think that covers everything.
Brilliant, thank you. Cameron, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I was on the subcommittee and normal committee of the LGBT network for a year each. With Yolanda, I helped set up the LGBT conference with NUS and other universities all came together. And I've been a student ambassador for just over a year, so I really engage with students.
Brilliant, thank you. Kyle?
Yeah, so I started off as a student, a course rep, sorry, and then I gave my ideas, and then I went for theme parks theme park society communications. I was able to convey a lot of information. I worked with Hugh with that, and as well as that, I'm now the manager of theme park society, so I've been able to engage with a lot of students, understand their problems and issues. As well as that, I've been a Res Life mentor for 1 year as well. I was making an application for Res Life to better students' lives and so forth. And as well, this year as well, I have been a department rep, better communication in the computing school and understanding what students need.
Brilliant, thank you. Amanda, did you want to add anything to that?
So initially I was the course rep, same as Kyle. For the past 2 years, I've been a student trustee for the school, for the Students' Union. I've also been elected department rep for the past 2 years. I've worked closely with the school with regards to additional wellbeing and additional support and encouraging HSC students to engage with the union, and also to encourage staff members to actually seek support and guidance from the union to support their students as well. So we've created a more open communication between staff and union for that as well.
Brilliant, thank you. So our next question is this one. How would you make sure that there is more equal representation for underrepresented students at staffs? So Cameron, did you want to go first on this one, because you seem to have a good background on this?
Yeah, so one thing I really, really want to do is just push for more open, clear rep for different student groups. I think the networks that already exist, like the Women's Network, LGBT Network, Black, Asian and Minority Ethnic Group Network, are all really important. I think they should be further highlighted. And I think inclusion training within staff members as well, lecturers, predominantly to me personally about pronoun use and trans non-binary plus students, like pushing the importance of gendering people correctly, how to correct yourself in a polite way that doesn't make people feel uncomfortable, I think is super important. And that is one thing I would love to bring forward. And if this relates to the question, period equality as well is another big thing that I really want to push.
Thank you very much. Kyle, did you want to add anything to that question?
Can you give me a second? I think the ice cream van's coming back around.
Yeah, that's right. Yolanda, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm very much going to just follow up on what Cam said, because I think with this uni, we've got the great foundations for the inclusion, but it just needs more awareness, a bit more training, and just promoting a bit more, because as I said, you've got the good foundations with the solid, how good the LGBT community is. The conference was a massive thing. But again, it's just getting that promotion out there that these things are available for people to get involved in, and communicating that over to students.
Thank you. Hugh, did you want to add anything to this one?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, kind of like Cameron and Yolanda basically said, the inclusion training I think is definitely a big thing. I know personally I could probably benefit from that quite highly, because myself, like cis, straight, white male, like I don't relate to a lot of the issues directly. Like I can empathize with them. So yeah, speaking to students, sort of understanding what they need, getting the feedback from them and what they want would probably be the way to go about that.
Amanda, before we go back to Carl, do you want to answer this?
So getting people involved inclusion-wise is massively important. It goes across the university. We've seen an increase in the rise of parent students being included and wanting inclusion. I was lucky with quite a few things I've been able and helped to get involved with from the Students' Union, which has been amazing. So I want to make sure that every student actually gets the opportunity to do that, regardless of their background or demographic. and make it fair for every student, because if I can do it with 2 little kids at home, then another student should have the equal opportunity to do that exactly the same.
Thank you. And Kyle?
Sorry about that. Yeah, I agree with the previous 4. We do need inclusion training and awareness. We need to make everyone understand and aware of the situations, and we need to make sure there's that support there, heavy support, just make sure students are not sort of like left alone and sort of left out, and that they're being included, and that no one just feels on their own. No one should be on their own.
Brilliant, thank you. So our next question is this one. So this year, more than ever, has shown how students value their fees and what they get out of it. How do you think the university can better let students know where student fees have gone? So who'd like to go first on this one? Yolanda?
I think the main thing with this is just having clear lines of communication, because I think a lot of it can get lost in translation, especially when you've got people expecting certain things from the university and it's run by the union, and then people expecting certain things from the union and it's run by the university. So just getting that clear message out to students about who's in charge of what and where to go to if you've got queries about a certain thing, because at the end of the day you are paying a lot of money to be here. You should know where that is going and what you're getting out of it, because that is another thing I want to bring up, is that this uni has a lot of services available that people aren't aware of because of that lack of communication. Like, we've got so many opportunities available to people, such as career studio, volunteering opportunities, that I think if it was just promoted and put across to students better, they would be getting more out of their time here. And that even goes back to societies and teams. That is something else that people can get out of their experience if they're just aware that it exists and where to go to get that.
Brilliant, thank you. Carl, did you want to go next on this one?
Yeah, so following off what Yolanda said, good point about communication. And it just goes back to that again, doesn't it? Communication is key. We're not getting that information out to students. They're not aware of the software and the hardware that they've got and the equipment they can grab. There's plenty of it out there. And that's where a lot of the money has gone to this year, is like laptops, softwares that students can use at home. But the university haven't conveyed the information well enough that students understand. So we do need to be communicating the information to students and making them aware that the money that they're spending is not just going in the bin or to brand new buildings. It's going to them and their course, and to get the best possible experience during these trying times.
Thank you. Hugh, did you want to add anything to this one?
Yeah, sure. Again, like everyone said, it's just sort of transparency for where the fees are going, because I think a lot of students kind of, I guess, kind of look at it as they're paying $9,000 and that's the sort of the lecturer's wages or whatever. But obviously, that all that money is going to absolutely every different facility that you can probably think of in the university. Plenty of them that plenty of students don't know about. So just making students, aware of everything that's on offer for them would help with that massively, I reckon.
Cameron, what were your views on this one? Just a reminder of the question, by the way, it's about how can we better communicate how students are getting value for their fees, because it's quite an important issue.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what Kyle, Yolanda, and Hugh have said, but I think a big thing, other than conveying what services are available, I think especially this year, a lot of people are questioning where is our $9,000 going, because we're all online and quite a lot of us don't have access to our facilities. I think the university, it could be a good idea for them to release some form of, this is where everything is, even now, and why it's worth what you're, like the student loans we're taking, like, sorry, my words are getting scrambled, like why it's worth still being here, even during COVID. And I think I've seen a lot of people question it. So I think that'd be really important.
And Amanda, what did you want to add on this one?
So I massively do agree with the whole transparency thing with students, because if you tell them straight away where it's going, then there's no question mark. So that's a massive, massive key point. And I do agree with Yolanda about the support services. I was very fortunate. My lecturer sat us down first week and said, this is your support services, this is what the union offers. this is what the university offer. And that was brilliant for myself, but I'm fully aware that a lot of other students don't get that, or it's a passing, fleeting comment. And so even just by knowing what's available, students can actually see where their fees are actually going. And that is a massive, massive improvement that the university could make quite quickly.
Brilliant. Thank you all for your answers on this one. So our next stage is a quick fire round. So these are certain topics. You'll each have a limited number of time again to answer each one. So it's about basically different topics that we can have. So our first one is sustainability and eco-friendliness. So who wants to go first on this one? So it's a standard topic and you just have to share your views on it. Cameron?
Yeah, I've thoroughly had like a consciousness about eco-friendly things, and I think one of the things that the university started but had to pause because of COVID was the zero waste shop that was available in the College Road side of campus. That because that shop's closed now, we don't have it anymore. I think restarting that is so important, and it's such a good baseline to jump off of to extend it to all campuses. I think Stoke is obviously the big campus, but every campus matters, especially with eco-friendly stuff. We should implement it everywhere. Energy saving throughout the university as well is a big thing that I've noticed that we don't do. Like leaving lights on at night, it sounds small, but it's big in terms of energy consumption because we are such a big campus.
Brilliant, thank you. Yolanda, did you want to go next on this topic?
Yeah, I very much agree with Cam. One of the things I want to do was expand the no wastage shop. As I said, it's one of those things, it's a fantastic thing that we haven't yet been able to utilise. But then another thing I wanted to add was we started doing it a little bit was flashback entries, but if we brought stuff for period poverty, tins for the food hub, but we could even do something like no straw, bring your own straw night. So if you bring your own reusable straw, we can have a night where we're not having to hand out straws. Reduces plastics that we're using on a club night, because the amount of them we sweep up after a club night is a bit ridiculous. So that'd be one thing I'd look to do.
Thank you. Hugh, did you have anything to add on this topic? So it's sustainability and eco-friendliness.
Yeah, sure. Just recycling points, more recycling points around the uni, chewing gum bins, cigarette bins, stuff like that. Litter picks, encourage litter picks more. I've done a couple of litter picks in the past, and they're actually surprisingly enjoyable to do. It's quite fun to sort of find out what you can get, but that would help to tidy up the sort of the nature reserve, things like that a bit more. And yeah, like people have already mentioned, zero waste shop, increasing that a bit. Conserving energy within the uni, sort of around lockdown when none of the buildings were being used, a lot of the lights were still left on in Mellor and Flaxman and whatnot, so definitely making sure that those get turned off when they're not in use would be a good way to go about it.
Amanda, do you have anything to add on this one?
I feel like I'm going to be a bit of a repeating what everyone else has said, but definitely the zero waste shop, I used it myself and that was absolutely amazing, especially even for little ones as well. So my daughter absolutely loved it, and the price of it was a lot more cost effective than people actually gave it credit for. So massively, definitely try and encourage that at the other campuses as well, especially Blackheath Lane, where we have our key worker students who just literally just need to grab something quick and go. That would be absolutely amazing. The recycling points, absolutely, definitely, they can be encouraged with the college as well, who we actually have a partnership with. So we can create more communication between and maybe get a bit more going on between them with sustainability, so it transfers over as well for students coming to Staffs Uni from the college. So
thank you. And
yeah, so agreeing with what everyone else has said and following on from that, I feel like we need to implement more signage as well to show where recycling stations and bins are, to indicate where they're going to be. Because I know there is some on the main side of campus, but I feel like we have more signs that indicate where they are, and also placing new ones as well around campus, especially in the accommodation side. There's not as many there as I thought there should be. And as well in first year, I used to see these bottle bags where you'll be able to put loads of bottles into these bags, and there'll be separate waste, but they just go to one garbage bin, which I feel is not right, because apparently it gets sorted in its own in the waste centre, which I don't know if that's true or not. So I feel like we need more recycling bins in the accommodation as well, and in the classroom, because there's still just normal black bins in a lot of the classrooms. And I feel that we could benefit from a lot of recycling bins in the classroom, and as well as renewable energy to save a lot of money on electricity and be more eco-friendly.
Brilliant, thank you. If we could try and keep the answers as brief as possible, because they are quick fire rounds. So our next one is physical resources on campus. So who wants to go first on this one? Do you want to go first, Cameron?
Yeah, sure. I just think one big thing about the physical resources is just conveying to everyone through the lecturers what they have access to. Because a lot of people don't know that, and opening up after COVID, I think it's really good, especially for the new first years that haven't experienced pre-COVID staffs. I think it's really important just to convey to them what they can actually access.
Thank you. Carl, did you want to go next on this one?
Yeah, make it quick. I feel like we need to ask students what physical resources they need and what we can add and what is feasible, as well as like what Cameron said, brilliant idea. We need to communicate more with the students and make them aware of what physical resources they can use and services and facilities.
Yolanda, do you want to go next?
Yeah, very much the same. It's just getting the ideas from the students, what they physically need, so we're not getting stuff that's not going to get used. And again, just relaying communication out, especially like Cam said, with post-COVID, with students that haven't been here before, making them aware of everything that is available to them.
Amanda?
So yeah, just again asking students actually what they want to see, because there's so much there that other than first year students, they haven't seen themselves, so it's massively important to make sure that they know where to go.
Thank you. And Hugh?
Yeah, again, I feel like a parrot, but it's a lot of it's just communicating to students about different things. Like literally only last week I learned that you can access welding and 3D modeling services and whatnot that I had no idea existed. And then there's also things like the motion capture studio up in Cadman, things like that. We've got a lot of stuff. It's just making sure the students know about it and that they know it's there and they can go use it.
Okay, our next topic is postgraduate and graduate support. Now, Hugh, you mentioned you were a master's student, so this might be a good one for you to answer first.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm a master's student, but I've been, at least personally, my courses run pretty smoothly this year, things like that. Yeah, just opening up sort of communication channels and whatnot, so that if people are struggling or do need more support, they can let the union know, let their lecturers know, whatever, things like that.
Thank you. Who wants to go next? Amanda, did you want to, or Yolanda? Which Yolanda, you go first.
One thing is promotion of the career studio, making sure people are aware that that exists, because they have so many connections to get people into postgraduate jobs, get them into those schemes. And then another thing is just having more alumni events. I think that's even more important post-COVID, because people didn't get the goodbyes that they wanted. So making sure people feel welcome to come back on campus and have that like last hurrah kind of thing if they want.
Amanda?
So yeah, just touching again on massively the careers side. Sally Thompson from Careers has been fantastic for HSC. So making sure that that is across the board for every student. With postgraduates, that they still have access to everything that we have access to as undergraduate students. So making sure that they're aware that they are still covered by the university and the union, and regardless of what they need.
Kyle, did you want this one as well?
Yeah. Kate, we need to make sure that postgraduates that are KTPs and a lot of other services that the university can support after they've graduated come into lectures and stuff could be a benefit for a lot of students, especially now in COVID. And as well as just sort of communicating with them, making sure that they know what they want, and if they can come to the university and the university is able to give them what they want.
And Cameron?
Yeah, I think based on what I've heard from people in my life, that postgraduate students in the past. I think a lot of it is communicating what support they can still receive and extending undergrad support to postgraduate, because from what I've seen, there's a lot of financial struggles that come with being a postgraduate student that I think the university should make a priority to help, because that encourages people to study, I think.
Okay, our next topic is how to better integrate the satellite campuses. So what's your views on how the current situation, and how do you think you'll improve it? So who wants to go first? Kyle.
Yeah, so as a lot of people don't even know that satellite campuses exist on this main campus. So I feel like we need to make sure that we're getting the information out to all students on this campus as well as satellite campuses, that they exist, and making sure that we're having a presence on those campuses. The union hasn't had much of a presence, so I feel that we need to get someone down there, or an office down there on each campus. It might not be feasible, but it's a good idea to make sure that students do have an awareness of the events and everything that's going on, and making sure that they are having the information related to them about all events, especially down in Digital Institute, which is a long way away, to make sure that they are still able to made aware that they can access all the events.
Yolanda, did you want to go next?
Yeah, as I said, I touched on it earlier, but a big thing would be making sure that the students there are aware that everything that the union's running, aware that they can set up societies, set up sports teams, and get given the support to do so. And then once these societies and teams are set in place, that they can be connected with the different campuses. And again, hopefully then, once there's enough, set up this inter-university events that we can run, so everyone can get together and be part of the staff's uni experience.
Cameron?
Yeah, I think a main thing, like for a year of my study, and I didn't know we had other campuses, it's not a thing that I think really gets conveyed. I think a higher focus from officers in the union to satellite campuses, hosting meetings, panels, to hear the voices of all those students. I think because we're called the connected university, but I don't think our campuses are connected at all. Like, we're very disconnected, and I think it removes a sense of community that I think students thrive on as well, especially being away from home, that we all know we're all together.
Hugh?
Yeah, I very much agree. It's one of the points I've sort of made in my manifesto. Like incentivizing student groups to sort of, incentivizing people to start up new student groups at those campuses, and then also encouraging student groups that we've already got set up in Stoke to be inclusive of those other campuses, helping putting better events on at those things. I've volunteered at a Welcome Week, or a couple of welcome experiences at Stafford, Blackheath Lane campus, and they aren't amazing events, to be quite honest. So just improving those would help. And yeah, more just getting in contact with those students and finding out what they want, what they need.
Amanda?
So I've had the pleasure of actually speaking to Blackheath Lane students as a department rep from HSC, and the key thing that they want is they just want to be included. Like Stoke campus students, they don't want to have to travel up to Stoke to have wellbeing services, and they just want to feel connected. You ask them, who are your officers? They haven't got a clue. They don't see them there. There's very little in postage there of these are your officers, this is what's available to you. And I'd hazard a guess that that's the same at London campus and at Shrewsbury. And our campuses, BHL and Shrewsbury, are health and social care based, so they are placement based. And it's just making sure that they're actually included, because even just a hi, how are you, and just popping up every so often would mean the world to them. And they don't ask a lot as students, they just want to be included.
Brilliant. And our final quickfire topic round is academic representation. So keep it as brief as possible, because this is our final one. So shall we start with Cameron? Do you want to go first on this one?
Yeah, sorry, just trying to gather my thoughts up on it. So
academic representation.
Sorry. Just
We can go to someone else. Don't worry.
Yeah, please, just so I can gather.
Kyle, did you want to go?
This is a difficult one. I'm lost. I'm trying to gather my thoughts also. Do you mind if we pass this on to someone else a minute?
Yolanda?
One thing I would say is getting people more aware that they have the student reps to go to. So if they have issues within their course, there is someone clear and obvious that they can go to get these issues ironed out. And then again, I think another thing comes back to letting students in each department know what is available to them, and it's not certain equipment is available only to some students, because I found out this year with the dissertation I'm doing, I'm using technology from the computer science and I'm on forensic science. So you're not limited. If you're on one course, you can integrate with other people. And I think that is something that really needs to be highlighted, that you're not just stuck to your school. It's just getting that across that the whole university is available to you.
Brilliant. Thank you. Amanda?
So one of the main things for me personally is making sure that our course reps actually get the appropriate training, because it's not just a tick box exercise. You can't just go on to Rep Savvy. I was lucky being a department rep, we had Teams training, and that should be included for course reps, because they are the first line for us as department reps and for us as a union as well. We need to make sure that they've got all the training that they need, and the training and the support as well. And that way we can actually engage with more students, because more students will want to be course reps and the rest will fall into place. And if we've got more student reps, then we've got more communication with the lecturers as well to actually get the student voice heard.
Yeah. Hugh, did you want to add anything to this? So the topic is academic representation.
Yeah, sure. I agree with everything that's already been said. So just make students more aware of the reps, just the fact that they exist in the first place, that they can go speak to them about issues and whatnot. I saw some idea somewhere that sort of general reps might be an idea, where if nobody wants to be a rep for that specific course, if the general rep just gets slotted into that one, then like they don't have to represent their own individual course. They can represent any course within the uni. I think that is honestly a pretty good idea. I can't remember where I saw that now, but it could be something good to work with.
Brilliant. Thank you. Cameron, should we revisit you?
Yeah. I agree with everything that's already been said, but I think a big thing is putting more pressure, I think, onto lecturers to, I think, one, better communicate with course reps, and two, like highlight them really specifically and send out a lot of communication themselves, not necessarily just from course reps, saying that it's really crucial to communicate with these people, because as a whole, it affects your entire university experience within your course. If you have a problem and you don't want to voice it yourself, your department rep could help you either voice it or help you figure out what to do with that issue you have.
And Kyle?
Yeah, so basically the issues that I see as the department rep myself is that a lot of first year students don't know who I am, because I don't have that ability to be able to go into first year classes and stuff and be like, look, hello, I'm a department rep. So I think, following what a lot of people have said, we need to have the head of the schools and departments to be able to email students, because I can't get hold of students. I don't know who is in my school and who I'm able to represent and voice for. And then they're getting confused and lost because they don't know if they have a voice for them. So I feel like, again, it's that back to it again, communication.
Brilliant, thank you. That's all from the quickfire round. So now we're just going to round off. You've got 20 seconds each, and I want, again, your name, where people can hear more from you, and vote for me because, which is your slogan, basically. So who would like to go first? It's literally just an outro, so it's you've got 20 seconds. That's all.
I'll jump in. Yeah. Hugh Weaver. Vote for me because honestly, you've had a look at my manifesto. You agree with the points, or you've agreed with what I've said tonight. Find me on pretty much all social media. Just Hugh Weaver, HUWWEAVER. And yeah, my slogan, Hugh, do you deserve?
Brilliant. Cameron, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm Cameron Morton. You can find me on social media, Cameron Morton. On my posters that will be hopefully around campus, I've got a QR code to my website with a manifesto on it, because it's not on the union website. So go on my website. I want to represent everyone. That's my main thing. Everyone should be represented, regardless of anything. So my slogan, Lights, Camera, and Action. We need action.
Chris, you're muted.
Yeah, Amanda, do you want to go next?
So, hi, I'm Amanda Payne. I want to be full-time officer to represent all of you. I've done it for the past 2 years as a department rep and as a student trustee. I've held true to promises that I've made to get more support for students. My hashtag is a catalyst for change, and you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under my name. So thank you.
Yolanda?
Yeah, thing to vote for me, because I genuinely believe I'm not promising anything that I won't deliver. That is a big part of what I'm standing for. I think we've got so much more that we can develop and improve, and that is the biggest thing I want to do, is just improve what we've already got and take it further. And I think with the experiences I've had whilst I've been here, being part of the union, being part of the sports teams, I've got the skills to do that. You can find me on Facebook, find me on Instagram, and then my slogan is just McBride on your side.
And Carl?
I've been Kyle Ashby. If you agree to anything I said tonight and agree with my manifesto, please do follow me. I'm on Facebook, Kyle Ashby, or Kyle for Prezzo. Find everything everywhere, all my points. And I just want to make let's make the change together. Let's do it together, and Kyle will go the mile.
Brilliant, thank you. That's all from me. I've been Chris Steers, the chairman. You can obviously keep online on the Students' Union web pages, staffsunion.com. If you click the Representing You button, you should be able to find all the links to the leadership race and all the key dates. And I'm going to hand you back to Jamie now.
Real, thank you, Chris. Waiting for my camera to catch up with my click there. So yeah, thank you to Chris for chairing us through our second Q&A event, and thank you to all of our candidates. Well done. Told you it wasn't as nerve-wracking as you thought it would be. And well done to everybody. Thanks to those of you who have watched the stream live. Please feel free. We've got one more of these tomorrow afternoon, so please feel free to continue to submit any questions that you want us to ask our remaining candidates in our final Q&A tomorrow, for which I'm going to ask Sabrina to clarify the time for, because it escapes me. 3 till 4, Sabrina.
That's correct.
Lovely. And look at candidates here telling me that as well, so brilliant. So fantastic. Hopefully candidates and students will be able to join us tomorrow afternoon, 3 till 4. But for now, well done, thank you very much, and have a lovely evening.